It's awesome. We just had him
Awesome.
on as a special guest just recently. I forget
Awesome.
if it was the coach's only call or if it was a Thursday night call. Yep,
I believe it was the coach's call, but glad to have him here too.
yep,
Oh, what's up?
All right. Well, we have the live stream up and running. We have the recording, and that officially gets us started. Welcome everybody to the Ask a Holistic Cancer Coach weekly call, hosted by Beat Cancer here every Thursday, every week at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But this is one of the very special ones. Not that they're not all very special, but on the third Thursday of each month, which is today. We are joined by our co-hosts, the leadership team over at the Annie Appleseed Project, Julia, John, Joanna, whenever's available, whoever's available. I see Julia and John are with us. Not sure if I'm seeing Joanna in the wave of participants, but that's okay. Um, yeah, we are here to talk about all matters holistic health and healing, cancer prevention, and healing as well. As a reminder and a disclaimer, nothing that is said here is intended to be taken as explicit medical advice. We are here to explore interesting information. Your health is in your own responsible and diligent hands. Do the appropriate research, work with the appropriate professionals when necessary. And of course, while we can talk about people's individual circumstances at a surface level, for a more in-depth analysis and plan of action, it would be most appropriate to do a full patient intake with one of the many wonderful holistic cancer coaches that we have here at Beat Cancer or whomever you decide to work with. I'm Zachariah Frank, COO here at BeatCancer.org, joined by co-host Carl Wagner, CEO, BeatCancer.org. We of course have Julia Chiappetta, president of Annie Appleseed Project. John is what are you vice president? I forget, but
Yes.
we're getting an affirmative. Awesome. So yeah, over to Carl while I monitor the health of the live
I
stream.
said I said I was her assistant.
He's there. All right.
No, we're all COOs, CEOs, CMOs, CFOs, presidents, vice
Yeah,
presidents,
that's how it always.
whatever
What
role the
what what
day gives
about what
us.
about volunteers?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it
Yeah.
always goes. That's how it always goes. So, so, but people like titles, so it is what it
Nice to be here again. Thank you.
Yeah, it's
is.
really great. It's like
Wow, I went to page two.
Amelia.
You have a lot of people here. Way to go.
Yeah,
What
thanks
a
for
great
inviting
following.
me as
Yeah,
well.
it like uh doubled from last time we were here, huh?
Well, it's
Yeah.
definitely a team effort. It's definitely both our list and your list. So thank you.
Yeah,
Good to
awesome. Why don't you go ahead and take the mic, Carl? Let the people know a bit about Beat Cancer if they're new here.
Yep, yep.
And I'll go ahead and check out the live stream. As a reminder for everyone, while we are here on this Zoom having fun, we are also live streaming out to YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Twitter, and a couple other places.
Instagram.
So while the call is going on, right before I hand it over to Carl, while the call is going on, for the sake of the recording and for everyone's experience, please do keep yourself muted unless you are actively speaking. If you do wish to speak, please do use the raise hand feature. It'll look like this. See that little hand? It'll be at the bottom of your toolbar in your Zoom. If you can't figure out how to do that, it's okay. You could raise your hand on camera. We'll see it and get to you ASAP, or you can put your comment or question in the chat section. Also, for our friends watching the live stream on social media, you are welcome to put your comments and questions in the chat wherever you're watching, and I'll be monitoring those streams as well, and we'll get to them ASAP. With that, over to Carl. I'm going to monitor the live stream, and I'll be right back with you.
Yep, we do have a pretty lively chat typically, so people are answering each other in the chat, which is a lot of fun. And there's a lot of great information going on in there. So if you can bring up your chat screen so you can see it off to the side of your main window, that's always good. And a little bit about Beat Cancer. We're a 48-year-old nonprofit, and we have been counseling cancer patients and caregivers in holistic ways of dealing with cancer. mind, body, spirit for all of that time, and nobody is turned away. So you have a friend here at Beat Cancer, a confidant, a companion, somebody who's on your team to help you get in the driver's seat and be a participant in your healing. We never claim to heal anybody because that would be not the truth. What we do is help you get into the best possible state for your body to do the right work and heal itself. Um, with that, we are ready to get started. I think maybe we can get a quick overview of Annie Appleseed and what they do and continue on from there. Julia?
Hi, everybody. It's so great. It feels like a big Italian family at the table tonight, so I love it. It's wonderful. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Zach. And we are just excited to be here, and I see so many familiar faces in the crowd. We are a 20-year organization that provides education and advocacy for anyone and everyone who has cancer. Beyond cancer, we also provide support to caregivers and family members who need help. We have a website that houses all of our white papers, cancers by type, YouTube channel, story deck, history, our recent conference videos from all of our wonderful speakers, presenters, our 90-page conference journal, which is packed with information on organizations like Beat Cancer and PolyMBA and American Biosciences, who support us year in and year out. We're all friends. I mean, we've known each other for years. So we've got lots of resources there on products and services, and just gives you an overview and sort of a glimpse inside who we are, what we do. We have a lot of clips, a lot of photos, and we just love on everyone that calls. We use Beat Cancer as a resource for many of the people that call us. Our phones do not stop ringing. We have an intake form on our website, which gives us some brief information about you, and then we can then refer you to our teams. So we have a board of directors, we have a medical board, we have global partners and ambassadors. Lisa Tarantino is here on the call. She's one of our ambassadors that takes a lot of people that call in. She helps them tremendously. So we all need each other. We all do this for the same reason, and that is to provide hope and healing to anyone and everyone on a cancer journey. And I love everybody, and we're just so glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Julia. It's such a great thing that we finally are getting together and working together in this way. And you fulfill a need for Beat Cancer, right? Because putting on events is a big ordeal. Not a big deal, it's a big ordeal. It's not easy. And just the little events that I've put on in my 10-year golf events and things like that, it just sucks up 6 months of my time, and it prevents me from doing other things that I need to do for this organization. So it's just great to work with you and have your events to go to. And one of the reasons we wanted to do this together monthly was so that for our audience, you're top of mind all year long, not just right before the event and sell tickets. We want people to know about you all year long. And then when hopefully we'll have a bigger group to come down. I think we had something like 20 people or so that had taken our holistic cancer coach course there at the last event.
Yeah.
People that spoke there, including our founder, but that's neither here nor there. It's just it's great to have this partnership with you, and thank you so much for what you do, because we couldn't do it.
So
How many
Well,
with Julie? How many? And good to see you, CJ, my dear friend up in Canada. It's been too long. I missed you this last conference.
hi,
Um,
CJ.
how many people? I know Julia shared what we've done over the years. How many? And we did it. I guess lift the hands in the air last time. But how many people have heard of this organization and or attended over the years? This has been
Well, I'm gonna have to change my view
over
to see everybody.
a two decade
Yeah.
thing. So great to see everybody. And yeah,
And I see one of our medical directors, Sean Devlin, is with us, but we want to see your nice smile, Sean. Sean has been instrumental in helping us bridge the gap between doctors and patients, which has been a goal of all of ours for years. And it's a beautiful thing what's really transpired and happened, so that when you come to our conference, you are rubbing shoulders with and sitting at lunch and breakfast and out by the pool in the hallway in a little nook with doctors and practitioners who are there to help and to encourage you in your journey and to help you. So it's a beautiful thing what happens, and you really become part of a community and our movement. So thank you, Sean, for being on the call.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, that I think that covers it for introductions. We're super happy that we're all here, and let's get down to business.
Yep.
As a reminder. Oh,
We,
what's
we
up?
did we did say about two other special guests here. Al Sanchez, the president of Poly MVA, is here, and David Walls, from president of American Biosciences, is here. So we got some great people on tonight.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So let's get right to it while we still have people coming in. These calls are to serve the public. They're to serve our community. And while, we have things that interest us and that we can go on and on about, we really want this to be a community and participation driven call. So this is the time where I open up the mic to anyone on the call who has a question, a comment, a topic of interest, or just something that they want to know more about in regards to holistic cancer healing and prevention. The first time I open the mic, there's always some people that are shy, but someone's got to get the ball rolling.
It always gets started. Well, I might want to add one more thing.
Sure.
I mean, I'm preaching to the choir maybe here with most of the people, but it's a well-known fact that only 5 to 10% of all cancers are caused by your genes. And just because you have the genes that may give you the propensity to get cancer doesn't mean that you necessarily will. Through the science of epigenetics, we're finding that out. But the other 90 to 95%, and this is stated on even the most medical of associations, that the other 95% comes from lifestyle and environmental toxin, but mostly lifestyle. So with that, somebody may have a question.
Yeah.
Oh, we
We
got a
a
hand.
hand from Catherine. Please go ahead, Catherine.
Oh, you're on mute. There you
Okay.
go.
Actually, I did not have a question. I had an announcement that my book has gone to Kindle, and it is Health and Healing Habitudes. Habitudes are habits and positive attitudes that we work together with for that body, mind, and spirit connection. And I really just spent a lot of information, 170 pages actually, talking about physiology and body, mind, and spirit, and my philosophy specifically of that sustainable wellness and how to achieve it.
Excellent. Catherine, please get us an article and links to that, and we'll get it on our blog, and we'll feature it in our weekly newsletter.
And as soon as it's out, I'll keep you guys posted. So you should be watching for it, and I'll let you know once I know when it's going to be hitting.
Excellent. Thank you so
Wonderful.
much.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for sharing, Catherine. That's a great way to open up the discussion with, habitudes, like you call them. Our habits, are they healthy? Are they leading us into unhealthiness? What are our attitudes? Are they doing, which one of those are they doing, as well? Um, Very, very important and very aligned with everything that we do here at Beat Cancer, having a true body, mind, and soul approach. But I do see we have a comment in the Zoom here. You are welcome to unmute, Carla, or if you'd like to just have me read it, that's okay. They said, friend has a tumor on rectum, described as large, 15 centimeters. Are there general encouragement to how to approach talking about treatment options? So Carla, you are welcome to unmute if you are able and would like to do so. But I'll just open up the discussion by saying, of course, we don't have all of the information here. We don't know, what is going on with that person. It sounds like you're just looking for general advice on how to even talk to this person. Of course, that has a lot of nuances. Is this person willing and wanting and searching and seeking, holistic options, or are they very closed off to it? Always, I think it's important to remember that you can't force anything on anyone, right? And not in a healthy way, at least. So you could have all of the fantastic information and solutions in the world, but it's not necessarily healthy to force someone to take advice that they don't want. And that actually causes a lot of strain in relationships. So, always keep that in mind, of course. Again, I don't know what the relationship is. You're welcome to unmute, or I'll open up the floor for any of our holistic cancer coaches or any of our special guests to address the question.
Thank you so much. Just a little input. The person is open to options, but as I'm sure we all know, when you're the person in crisis, it's very often hard to navigate. Just the stress of knowing that something may be wrong with my own body, and so she's open to suggestions. I'm just asking how do I open the conversation in terms of what are some options that she could start looking at, she and her family, so that they can start the journey before jumping into the traditional the traditional standard of care model. What are some things that I can say to encourage her and to give her as places that she could start to look for information?
Yeah, I think the most prudent thing to do would be to either identify a coach that you feel would be a good fit, and you can look in our Find a Coach tab on BeatCancer.org, or you can contact our counselor at BeatCancer.org and fill out an intake form. The best thing to do is before anything, you need somebody professional to know all the details of that. We can't give suggestions. Um, that wouldn't be prudent. But once you have a full intake, that would be the best thing to do.
Of course, but
You
let's open it up to our coaches. Of course, they can offer some tips just on how to start the conversation and get things going. So I see Catherine's hand is up, and then we'll go to Jane, and then whichever other coaches would like to speak on the topic.
Thank you very much, Zach. I think for me, the biggest thing for me was fear. And it's not only just the fear, but the lack of information you have. And you're so inundated with information when you get that initial C. I got this big C. And I think the first thing we do is it's not always going to the family. We go to the internet and we're getting information that may not necessarily be accurate. And so I really want to let people know that I think one of the most important thing is to step back and take a look at and write specific questions that you have about your diagnosis, the stage, what treatments you're going to expect. And I really think people need to look at complementary care of from the sounds of the size of that, you're looking at probably a combination of conventional with holistic. But if you're going to go holistic, what avenues and what are they open to, and also their finances in relation to that too, what support they have with insurance or not. And so where some of that plays in getting them and helping them to really feel good and in control, because that's the one thing I felt wasn't so much the fear, but the total loss of control that I experienced. And you're often just pulled in, okay, we're going to do this, and this, next. And you haven't even had time to breathe and to examine what options and what you have. So take that time. You have enough time to investigate, to ask questions, to seek direction. Yes, right off the bat, get a cancer coach, someone who's going to support you in this. And I think had I had a cancer coach, it really would have made a lot of difference for me.
Thank you very much, Catherine. As a reminder, in this circumstance, we're speaking about someone who is a friend of a patient, and we're looking for guidance on how to approach the conversation and how to, guide someone else. So, a lot of the holistic cancer coach training that we have here is definitely relevant. So, yeah, let's touch on that, how we can, be caregivers or, guides. Even if this person is not or not yet a certified coach herself.
But
Okay.
definitely a good point for Carla to mention to her friend is that she has time to look into options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
And lifestyles are big, and your habits and attitude that go with it.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Maya. Oh, Jane had her hand up
Yeah.
before too. Well, we'll get back to you, Jane. Let's go to Maya and then we'll hop over to Jane.
I support what Catherine said in terms of like you do have time, and that's I think first message people get from their oncologist that they don't have time. They have to do everything as soon as possible. That's one of the most important things that people have to understand. They do have time to think about it and to do their research. But as a friend or as someone who would like to support their loved ones who were just diagnosed with cancer, I think to let them know that there's not only one way that what they were told about approaching cancer, there are other ways also out there exist, and to open their minds in looking and checking on them because they're going to be a great input when they go through the treatment in helping them to recover from chemotherapies and the treatments and learn about their own condition, how to lower the side effect of chemotherapy, how to change their life, their mindset, because it's not only one side, the drug-related side. There's a lot of ways the cancer could be approached. And just to let them know about it and gradual to open their minds to that. You cannot make people, of course, to change their mind, but you can at least they have to know there's not only one way out there. There's many other ways that they can put that. And once they open their mind, then they can, you can start linking them to the sources and bring that awareness to them. So, and it's going to depend on them how much they would want to learn from that point. That's what I would say.
Thank you very much, Maya. Thank you very much. We'll go over to Jane. Oh, you're on mute, Jane.
You're on mute, Jane.
With an encouraging note and say, okay, so there's a tumor, and that means that there's an outward sign of a symptom. And that's good because now we can get at dealing with it. Sometimes if we look at it just as a symptom instead of this big negative that we can't handle, that brings a person down a little bit. And the second thing I think is if it's a friend, to ask the friend, are you open to change? I personally have a friend who had cancer that's not open to change. So she's asking a friend, are you open to change? And then if she is, ask her, well, where do you think she would like to be 5 years from now? And then bring in the idea of a coach, and through the coach, you can go through choices. And I think that that's a very big way to start because it's a little bit uplifting. And the other question is, if she's uncomfortable, try to get at the source of why she's uncomfortable. Some people just don't want to talk about it because it's cancer. She may be uncomfortable because it's near the genitals and of the location at the tumor. So maybe for the friend to find out where his uncomfortability is. and then for her to suggest a coach, and then we could go from there.
Awesome, awesome. More great suggestions. Thank you very much to all of our coaches that have weighed in so far. I do see a hand up from Mary. If your hand up is for addressing this topic,
Yeah,
please
it
do go
is.
ahead. Oh,
It is.
wonderful.
So I think that I want to really emphasize, I'm a physician who's worked a lot with integrative cancer patients, as David Wales said at UCLA. And the one thing, I was almost always a second or sometimes a third opinion. But I do think people absolutely should virtually always get a second opinion. Let me turn my camera on so you can see me while I'm talking. Yeah, hi everybody. So a second opinion, and that can be both a conventional second opinion as well as a integrative or holistic, natural, however you want to say that second opinion. And I tend to like for people to think about a both and option. I think completely ruling out conventional treatment for many people is not the best way to go, but I think you should look at the full spectrum. And what the friend can do is remind them of time, take away that terrible sense of urgency, be prepared to listen. And sometimes you have to listen for things that are very uncomfortable, like fear. And ask her or your friend, what do you need? If they can't tell you anything, that can be a very hard question. Then be prepared to make some very specific offers. Bring over food that's in the diet that you'd like to recommend her getting used to. Um, Help her source providers who could be useful to her. Be available to give her or him or her a ride. Those kinds of things are never small things and completely useful. So that's the how I would begin talking to somebody.
Awesome, awesome.
Excellent.
Thank you very much, Mary. Before we move on from this topic, are there any other of our guests here that have anything to mention to our friend Carla in regards to how to guide our friend or a loved one through a cancer experience? And if not, we shall move on to our next comment. Thank you very much for everyone that weighed in, but I will check back in with Carla one last time. Is there anything more that we can do to serve you in this moment? Give you a couple seconds to get off mute if you'd like to.
All very helpful. Thank you so much. It's a stepwise process, and what you guys have given me are some of the tools I need to just be able to begin the conversation and allow her to feel heard and supported and to know that there are options that she can look into. Thank you so much. You guys are wonderful.
You got it. Thank you for being here. That's why we're here. Awesome. Next question. We have someone over on Facebook. Let me bring the window down so I can read it. So our friend on Facebook says, my sister has never drank, smoked, or taken drugs. It's been hard on her because pain medicine makes her sick. But the cancer is taking over everything inside of her right now. Lungs, chest, just all her parts, and I just don't get it. Of course, Miss Darlene, we're very sorry to hear that. Of course, a lot of people here can relate to the experience. I'm sensing a lot of frustration, some desperation. Nothing, maybe is working so far, and it's just not going well. But you've taken the first step, which is arriving here. And, you're just looking at this stream with, on the live stream, you can see like 15 people or so, but right here on the Zoom call are, I don't even know, like 40 something people that want nothing more than to help you through whatever it is that's going on. So with that, I will open up the panel to address that. I can read out the comment again if anyone would like. Of course, we don't know a lot of details here. So if you are still watching and you are still with us, please do add any additional details you would like in the chat. Otherwise, we will speak to what we have. So I'll open that up to our coaches to speak on what I just read out.
Yes, Becca.
Thanks, Carl. Thanks, Zach. I just wanted to mention in the training, it's always hard to say this out loud, but cancer is socially acceptable suicide. So for me, it's asking or feeling, is she feeling that there's a desire to stay engaged in this physical world? Or is the desire to exit this physical world? Because we all have this right and this path of into the life and out of the life, and it's your life. So it could be spreading because that's what she's subconsciously wanting, or is there subconsciously she wants to re-engage and be engaged in this physical world, and what is she living for? And I know it's gonna be frustrating when your loved one is in this position and you're wanting them to engage and wanting to fight and be in this life with us. And also the body could get too far. The body lives in its own plane versus our spirit. And sometimes the body just gets too far and can't come back. So these are all things to be thinking about. And I always want to say that they're the captain. We can give them all the choices and all the layouts, but they get to choose the path.
Absolutely, absolutely. Some very real and very tough love from Becca. You know, the truth isn't always super covered in daisies and flowers and such, right? You know, there's a lot that Becca just said there for anyone that was listening. So thank you so much for sharing, Becca. Over to Julia.
So I agree, Becca. At the Annie Appleseed Project, and I know BeatCancer.org, we are focused on hope in healing, and we have many stories like this that have come our way throughout the last 20 years. And so if you'd like to go to our website, the AnnieAppleseedProject.org, and fill out an intake form, we would be more than happy to get on a phone call with you and your loved one. And I know Beat Cancer would do the same. And we could start by showing her some love and support, and then take it from there. It's hard to know what somebody's feeling on their cancer journey. But I found that for me, it was much easier for me to talk to a stranger about what was going on than talking to a family member, because there's that pressure of not wanting to upset or deal with the emotions of other people in your life who are overwhelmed by what you're going through. And so you have to expend a lot of energy to care for them in the conversation, and that can be difficult. So we are here. Beat Cancer is here. Annie Appleseed Project is here. And what we will then do is resource out to our doctors, our ambassadors, our coaches. We have a powerhouse here on this call. We have doctors. We've got Al Sanchez from Poly MVA, which offers a lot of hope. We have David Wales from American Biosciences. His products offer a lot of hope. So with a little information, we can probably put together a little pathway that might be helpful. And again, at the Appleseed Project, we are focused on hope in healing. And so if that's the path that you'd like to take, there's plenty of us here to help. And we love you and we want to help you.
Yes, thank you for speaking to the hope aspect. And what we've seen many times, and I've even seen this within my own family with cancer diagnosis, is that people get a prognosis and it's like reverse placebo. They die exactly on time. I mean, doctors are great, but they're not psychic, and you know, and it doesn't offer hope if you tell them 6 months. Also, too, it sounded like this person said, "Well, why me? I don't smoke, I don't drink, I eat well. Um, why me?" But there's a lot of other things that go along with that. There's emotional correlates, and you know, we see that time and again as well.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
We do, and we have patient panels every year at our conference for 20 years of extraordinary healing stories and people who are in this exact spot that you might be in your loved one might be in at this time. People like Ryan Sternhagel's son Ryder and Chris Wark and others who were at this place and now look at what cancer brought to their lives and so many other people. So never give up hope.
Absolutely. We're gonna head over to Maya.
We've definitely seen the same thing where we've seen people at stage 4 and they've gone on to live long and healthy lives. Yep.
Yeah, I agree with everyone when it comes to mindset. I think that's the biggest downside of people stop trusting their own body because they forget that our body listens to our mind, and when the mind commands, the body is going to listen. And people have forgotten because they hear a lot of negative and pressure that the bell. For me, for example, doctor told me that I had a 15% survival rate. So if I would have taken that, I would have probably be part of that 15%. But the thing is how you take it and how you fight for the belief like your body is a machine and it can heal itself, and putting yourself in that place, especially mentally. I think that's the hardest thing to accomplish. That's what the people had forgotten, working their mind-body connection. That's a missing part in all that thing. Like it's not hard to change your diet, change your environment, eliminate all this toxic things that you surround yourself with. But the hardest part is to learn how to stay positive throughout entire process and how not to let those negativity get into your subconscious mind and control your body. I think that's the part that we're forgetting. And for your sister, I believe so, it would be a great work to trust herself, and you guys there to help her with other things when it comes to dietary changes or lifestyle modification, but for her to work on her own mindset, because that's the biggest puzzle. Like I experienced that myself, and I do see a lot of people missing that part because they're not trusting themselves.
Now, Maya, you just for clarification, you said 15%, right? 15.
Yeah, 15% survival rate past 5 years if I would have survived it. So it's been 9 years I'm here. So it all depends how you take it, because I did not accept that 15%. As soon as I heard that, I said, well, that's not me. I'm that 85%. That's it. And that was in my subconscious from the beginning, because I didn't want to assign myself at the level of statistic they're putting people in, because I'm not the statistic. I'm a human being. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a sister, because I'm a human being. I'm not that statistic. So when you get that and you feel that, then you have a power to fight. Your body is ready to fight, and turn the mountains upside down. So that's the thing that I would have would suggest her to do. And if it's like spreading, that doesn't mean it's end.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Maya. We'll head over to Jane.
Mute. You're on mute.
I think the first thing I would do is to try to turn around her mindset, because it is a common mindset in many different situations to say, why me? Or, why this negative stuff? So I would try to make a connection with her and say, you know what, there's situations in my life too, when that was a possibility of going in that direction, but let's look at a different direction of what we can do and go forward instead of going past, because there's a lot of things that we can do. And I think setting up that connection of empathy and to change her mindset, that it's important to go forward and to realize that there are many things that we could look at to do to raise her expectations. And the other thing is, when Maya was talking about the 15%, I think it's invaluable to, to teach people that they are in control of doctors, and doctors are paid by them, by the patient. And I think people have to have a right to know their diagnosis, but they also have a right to say, I don't want to hear about a prognosis unless you have a note signed by God. Very often, unless somebody specifically wants to know, that prognosis becomes a hypnotic suggestion. So to take that power and to say, we all, the things that we can try, we have a lot of things that we can try, and it's limitless. Not saying that your life will be extended or not, but nobody knows that. So let's go forward instead of going backward, but connect with her. Like I would connect with her with my experience of losing 2 husbands to this same kind of leukemia. Instead of going, why did that happen? I became a holistic cancer coach, or some other people can say, why me, and whatever, even finances. But that brings you down. So redirect her to bring her up, and then we could go from there.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Jane. I see a hand up from Sean Devlin. Over to Sean.
Yes.
Hey there, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Great. I mean, this is a tough because it's sort of in the ethers of this case, but the first thing I kind of resonated with was like overwhelmed by the relative, and number two, this pain, right? She's not dealing with her pain well. So I always like to triage those cases by dealing with that quality of life issue up front. And so whatever needs to happen to address that pain and alleviate the anxiety that comes along with that can allow her to make better, crisper decisions in time. But even at an advanced stage like that, giving a prognosis, number one, is a disservice, but number two, it's impossible to do because any data that you're relying on to make that prognosis could be years old. And so as you look forward in time, in general, survival rates are increasing and death and disability from cancer is decreasing. This is a trend that's been going on for years now. So that's always a reassuring perspective to share with the patient. And really, until they're pushing up daisies, there's a chance that they can clear this disease and go on to live a regular lifespan.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you. Yeah. And being around since 1977, Beat Cancer, that is, we have the interesting stance that we get calls occasionally of people that this organization had assisted back in the 80s, whose doctors told them they had 6 months, 1 year, 2 years max, and they're still here. And these are the important stories to hear, and these are the important realities to understand could be your reality. And to
Yes.
never count yourself out. Absolutely. Even so, we have another comment on Facebook right on this same topic. They said, eating healthy is the best when having disease. Of course, it's great no matter what. They said that my precancerous on my colon is gone last month after my surgery. God is good all the time. He is our great physician. Amen to that.
Yep.
Success, health, happiness. We're super happy for you. Just wanted to share that on the same light of understanding the great success that is out there when it does perhaps all feel gloomy. But floor is still open on this topic. I haven't had any follow-up from the original asker of that question, so we'll.
We have a comment in the chat there from Lisa Tarantino.
Yep. Someone said, Lisa said, it may truly help her to talk to someone who has had a dire diagnosis and beat the odds. Exactly. She can listen to healing stories on the Radical Remission podcast to start, but I really encourage her to reach out to Julia and talk to one of Carl's coaches. If you want to share her first name. I'm happy to pray for her. Her name was, well, the sister is Darlene. Not sure what the patient's name is. So yes, if anyone would like to do a prayer, um, you're welcome to do so. Let's see. Anyone else on that topic, or shall we get to the next chat? I see a hand from Jane. Is that a follow-up hand, Jane?
You were off mute, now you're back on mute.
Wondering, that's a huge, huge opener to bring in spirituality and to just run with it. And it's like I look at it as an intravenous from the divine, however we connect to the divine. And since that worked before to ensure that person, it's a good chance we can't guarantee that, but it's a good chance it will work again, because there is the power of the divine to show us to talk to the right person just in the nick of time, or to be led to read something or whatever. So really to encourage that person in their spirituality is wonderful. And the fact that they open that door, because some people do not, it's wonderful to run with it. And to really add to that it doesn't matter how that spirituality is. That's really important.
Wonderful.
So, Zach, so Sean Devlin, who spoke earlier, is one of our doctors at the Anti-Epilepsy Project, and wonderful, wonderful, caring doctor. And if you want to contact us, I think Sean made a great point that we missed in the overview, that this lovely person, is in pain. And so I think taking care of that pain will help all other aspects of the healing journey. And so you're more than welcome to contact us at the Anti-Epilepsy Project.org or BeatCancer.org and fill out an intake form, and we can get some help to you and start that process right away to bring some help, comfort to the pain level.
Yeah, excellent point brought up by Sean. Thank you, Julia.
Awesome. Over to Maya.
Yeah, that's a great point, Julia. To get rid of pain, it's a most important part. One thing that I want to add to what everyone had said today, people kind of, when they think about healing, they always trapped in that the mindset that how can I heal cancer? What should I take, or what should I do for cancer to go away from my body, or to get rid of this cancer? But the thing is, or they're confused, like how mindset can heal your body. And I think that's the biggest mistake that people are doing, because when you read Joe Dispenza's books, or Dr. Lipton's books, you kind of should not worry how your body is going to heal itself. I think that's the awareness you have to take off of your shoulder. What you have to do is just focus on what you want, and the universe is going to put you in the position where you have to be at and deliver to your door what you have to get to heal your own body. It's not your job what body is going to do. We don't know what body is going to do, as we don't know 1,000 things that body does in a second. We have no clue, no idea how body does it. So the same thing with cancer. That's not your job to think about it, how body is going to get rid of cancer. Your job is to focus how that you wanted your body healthy, you wanted your body to heal, and that's what's going to get delivered to you from different aspects, from different perspectives. I remember, like, for me, it would bring me to certain people that what I needed, I would get that, or it would give me something to read about, and I would say, oh my gosh, this is what I needed. This is what I was looking for. So universe basically delivers those to you in this like different ways, what you're looking for, as long as you open your mind to receiving them.
Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Maya. We're gonna head over to Catherine, and then we're gonna head over to a new topic after that.
Thank you, Zach. I think I loved what so much what Maya was saying, and also Julia, but especially when it comes to hope, because I really feel that hope is very interactive. It's not a passive thing. You just can't um, put it out there and hope that things are going to work. That's not what happens. You have to empower yourself to feel that control, to educate yourself and ask questions and be willing to ask your cancer coach or people that you can trust to get sources that you can feel confident in the decisions that you make. Because that is I think to me, the hardest thing that is to feel in control, but know that wherever you're going, whatever path you set, that the things that you're instituting, the changes you're making, the treatments you decide on, you feel good about. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is to have a perspective that's open, but also where you want to go. Sometimes we have a tendency, especially in the hospital, is to, set that path. But what is their definition of wellness? What is their definition of where they want to go and the life they want to lead? Because you have to find joy and happiness and love in living. And that's what they need to be looking at is finding what's going to make them feel good. And as they move through recovery, as they move through all the treatment, because it takes a lot of courage to make all the changes and cope and manage all the things that are going to be happening with them and have someone they can trust to work with and as a sounding board also, because I think that really makes a big difference, is that support that they need to trust that they will find somebody that'll walk the walk with them.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Awesome feedback for our friend over on Facebook. I'm not sure if they're still viewing or not, but no matter who is listening to that, there's surely a lot to digest and really think about, no matter where you are in any sort of cancer experience for yourself or a loved one. So we had another comment in the Zoom chat right here, from Marshall. She said, tips for lymph system drainage and detoxing body, especially organs. So Marshall, if you are still here with us, I'm scanning the Zoom room, not sure if you are. But if you are welcome to unmute and elaborate on the scenario with which you are seeking help for lymphatic drainage. Otherwise, I will open up the room for our holistic cancer coaches and guests to speak to the topic. Again, that's lymphatic system drainage and detoxing the body, especially the organs.
Don't we have a coach that specializes in that?
I'm pretty sure we do.
Not on tonight though, but yeah, that sort of thing is lymphatic massage.
Yep. It's Christine Hagen. She is a massage therapist specializing in lymphatic massage. Fantastic topic. Certainly no stranger to them myself. I think they're super essential. It's very, I want to say it's funny, but it's not. It's more so sad that I think the average Westerner doesn't even know what a lymphatic system is. Like nobody's taught about lymph or nobody's taught about lymphatic systems or detoxification or lymph nodes. Like these are foreign words to most people. And it's such a disservice because when these systems are not operating effectively, it affects everything else in the body. So let's head over to Coach Marinette and see what she has to say on the topic.
Unmuting myself will help. The lymph system is so important. It is what helps us get the gunk and garbage out of our systems. And so it gets blocked. We can get things blocked up in there, which can lead to other issues. But there's some simple ways you can be able to help with your lymph system at home. One is actually working out, moving your body, making sure that you're getting enough adequate exercise. Even walking will help with that as well. There are dry brushing techniques that you can use. When you are working with the lymph system, like even with a massage, you want to make sure that you're not going too deep into the skin. You really just want to be brushing it so you're stimulating the lymph system to be able to get activated. Another portion with that is like rebounding. So you could jump on a small trampoline, which is always fun. I mean, gotta love the kid in you still. So jumping on the little trampoline can be a good time. And also there's such a thing as vibration plates. And so those are also good ways to be able to help move your lymph system. But just getting moving is really a good benefit. I mean, if we think about it, most of us aren't moving enough in a day. Most of us don't get enough steps even in a day. And one of the best ways to be able to get your lymph system going is to be able to help that by walking.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much. Coach Becca has been dropping a lot of gems on this topic in the chat. So we're going to go over to her. And there's one phrase of hers that I do hope she says on the topic because I love to hear it. Let's see if she nails it.
Oh, that's funny, Zach. I talk about the lymphatic a lot at work because I always say this, a lymphatic loves to be shaken, sweated, and massaged. But I don't know what did I say in the chat? Oh, the greens.
I don't know. You were saying a bunch of stuff, so whatever comes to mind.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so she already said that. So infrared saunas, that's a healing, like to get this lymphatic sweating. I did yoga, hot yoga, sweating for 90 minutes. What else did I say? Sorry. The liver likes greens. And I don't know, I missed it, Zach.
That's
Sorry.
all right. I put you on the spot. One of your
You dropped a PDF in there too. That was very nice.
No, that wasn't me. That was somebody else.
Oh, that was Deb. That was Deb. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody said all the things. And the other thing to know is that the lymphatic drains to the center of the body. So it is going against gravity. So that's something to be mindful of, that it is going against gravity. So all that movement, we need it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We have a PT who's certified in lymphedema therapist since 1999. Maybe we can get Michelle to speak up. Michelle, you're on mute. Did put you on the spot. You didn't volunteer.
Where is she? I could ask her to unmute. I'm looking for her thing here. Where is she on cam or no?
She's not on cam. I'm gonna ask her to unmute right now.
Cool.
Oh, here she is.
Am I unmuted?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Thank you.
Okay. I got lost in the PDF.
Great to see you here. We just met over the weekend, so thank you so much for coming.
For the invite. So yeah, yeah, that's one of my superpowers is the lymph system. So I do help people with detoxing, and I like all the suggestions. Definitely all good. The rebounding, the vibration plates and things. And then sadly, I also treat complications of cancer treatment, and that's called complete decongestive therapy, which is meticulous 4 parts, meticulous skincare, manual lymph drainage, compression, and exercise, as was mentioned. So unfortunately, cancer treatment often take lymph nodes to stage the cancer, although they're trying to take fewer. Like for the breast, they try to take a sentinel lymph node by injecting a dye and only taking, maybe 3 lymph nodes, and there's 30 to 40 under the arm. So they can leave, the anatomy intact. However, the surgical scar creates a barrier because, as was mentioned, the initial lymphatic collecting vessels are superficial. They're in the skin. And so the scar can create a barrier. Radiation is a burn that creates a barrier. And the altered lymph system by taking lymph nodes put the adjacent body part at risk. Hopefully, people on this call won't experience that. But if you do, it's important to catch it early. Some people we send home with compression pumps to help manage it. Unfortunately, it's often worse in the heat. So asking someone to wear a compression garment in the heat and humidity of a summer is sometimes a tough sell. But the awareness is a lot more. than it was in 99 when I got certified by the Botter School and got recertified every 2 years, 10 times till COVID. That's out of Europe. But it does need to be managed. And stage 0 is there's a known risk. Stage 1, the swelling goes down completely at night. Stage 2, it's no longer going down completely at night. In stage 3, I've really not seen in cancer survivors. I have seen in people with congenital lymphedema, and that's called elephantitis. And that can even be caused by filariasis, by a mosquito in Africa. Or someone could have been born with an anatomically altered lymph system that isn't adequately draining things. But it definitely is part of our immune system. And yeah, super important to be like, what would we call it? Like aware that if that swelling shows up, to bring it to the attention of your doctor, because sometimes, sadly, they're so busy in saving your life with whatever they're using to save your life, prolong your life. And a lot of times we need to really empower people to think about the quality of their life.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Michelle. We have some people, or at least one person, that's wanting to get in touch with you. Maybe you can check the chat
Yeah,
and respond to that person.
yeah. I'll put my cell in the chat. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Awesome. I saw Leonard, which good to see you, Leonard. Fantastic to have you here. I saw you were dropping some information in the chat on the topic of lymphatic drainage. If you feel so inclined, would love to hear from you. Catherine and Maya, we do see your hands. Just want to give a chance to some of our shyer friends to get their voices in too. We will circle back to you. Over to you, Leonard.
You can unmute yourself.
Thank you. Great to be here. I don't think I have much to add, but I love what everyone shared.
Awesome. Well,
thank you, Leonard. Leonard is one of the ambassadors on the for Annie Appleseed, and a longtime friend of Beat Cancer. And I think Leonard goes to every single conference, watches every video and podcast over the last, how many years have I known you? 18 years. So Leonard, thank you for your knowledge and for your generous heart to share it with everybody. And I just wanted to, sorry, Zach and Carl, but I have to give a shout out to a childhood friend on the call, Sandra Marr, and also another friend of mine who is dear to me is Vanessa on the call. So hi, you guys.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's no reason to be sorry. It's great. Thank you. Thank you. Acknowledging your guest.
Oh, good. So with that, we'll drop over to Catherine and Maya. I'm not sure who had their hand up first. Please decide amongst yourselves. And then we have a comment on Facebook of someone urgently seeking some answers. So over to you two.
Thank you very much, Zach. I just wanted to comment on so a lot of people may not understand really what lymph is, and it is actually from the osmotic pressure that's from the heart, and all that fluid that actually is alongside, and most of the lymph is actually a lot, and the lymph nodes are in your abdomen, which is why your diet is really important, okay? Because we have 600 to 800 lymph nodes in our body. 75% are in our abdomen. So that's why diet is important. But when it comes to lymph drainage, that's something I'm struggling with right now. And I actually wear compression stockings. And I know people say, well, in the summer, they're really inconvenient. Believe it or not, I actually find them very comfortable and able to manage some of that drainage, because it's really actually a comfort to have that binding there. And I find quite comfort with it. But also, remember when we were at the conference a couple of years ago, when we had somebody do Qigong for cancer? And it was really nice, all that slow motion and movement. And that intent in movement is actually moving that fluid through the system, because there's one-way valves going back centrally, okay? And it's that movement that is really critical. and how we get all that fluid moving. So that's why Qigong and Tai Chi and some of these really good, smooth, easy walking exercise. You don't have to be jogging or heavy exercise. Light exercise is what it takes to really help with some of that drainage. And you can actually massage the breasts and massage your arms, even though you're wearing compression stockings. And for those who have lymphedema into the legs, I know it's uncomfortable to wear, but please, you might find more comfort in the end by having them there. So I just want to encourage those who do have that to really work on that. And remember, hydration. A lot of times we're not hydrating enough. And don't take Lasix because you think it's a problem with and you need to pull that fluid off. That's not necessarily the answer, because then you're going to dehydrate yourself. Keep yourself well hydrated. Use compression stockings. Use light exercise, and also do your best to get control of managing your exercise and your diet to complement your gastric support in your immune system. That'll really help.
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't see if she's still with us here, but the phrase I was looking for from Becca was motion is lotion. She likes to say that. That's what we say. A body in motion stays in motion. That's the truth. So
Yes.
no matter what your level of physical fitness is in the now, no matter what your energy level is, doing a little something or whatever you can with the energy levels that you have um, is a whole lot better than being still and stagnant. Because stagnation, it is death. It's not ideal. If you see a stagnant pool of water, what occurs in there? Not nice.
Yeah.
So you want to be like a river, a current, moving. Keep your body like that. Over to Maya. And then I saw Janice had her hand up, but where'd it go? Don't be shy. We'll get you. Over to Maya, and then we'll have Janice.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about hydration, but Catherine touched that base. She mentioned it. So knowing like our lymphatic system, 90% of liquid water, we have to know that the hydration is one of the important parts, and the difference between our lymphatic system and, for example, blood system. The blood pumps, but the lymphatic system does not have that pump motion. So movement, exercises, breathing, everything matters. And the other big part when it comes to lymphatic drainage or detoxification is having a strong digestive system, because one of the actions of the lymphatic system is absorption of dietary fats. So if you don't have strong and healthy digestive system, it's going to affect the lymphatic system also. So hydration would be probably main part of it. That's number one. And hydration with electrolytes, that's another thing. I think Annette also put it in the chat that hydration is important part. It is an important part. And then you can add rest, like, rebounding, like brushing, exercises, moving, bending, unbending, every motion when you contract your muscles would help your lymphatic system to, detox.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Coach Maya. Over to Coach Janice.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Hi, everybody. So just to piggyback off of Maya and the movement, and I like the Qigong piece of the free movement, because so what I think about, especially ladies, obviously with I'm experiencing breast cancer, but using a rebounder and removing the bra, getting rid of things that are going to be so constrictive when you're doing rebounding or those types of movements. You want to try to wear loose clothing as you do rebound, so that really helps the lymphatic highway flow, which is always more beneficial.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Coach Janice. Great to hear from you. So with that, we're going to head over to our friend on Facebook who's looking for some help. But before we do, someone in the chat was just asking, like, what is a vibration plate? Put very basically, something you stand on it and it shakes you up real nice and gets the body moving and jiggling and gets everything flowing inside. You can stand on it. You can also like bend over and put your arms on it if you want to like jiggle your, upper body a little more than from the ground up. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. Obviously do your due diligence. They're not all made the same. And with anything that is a physical activity, of course, do your due diligence on if it is a safe thing to do for you at this current time. With that, we're gonna head over to our friend on Facebook looking for some help. Um, Someone said it's midnight from Nigeria. That's pretty crazy. We're reaching all the way over in Nigeria. Amazing to be able to help people all over the world. Please, I need help to get ivermectin and fenbendazole and everything that works. Diagnosed with invasive ductal carcinoma, stage 3 last year. Had lumpectomy and had the lymph node removed. But just 3 months later, they are all growing back with new tumors. Please help me. I am in pain. Um, Lot to digest there. Ivermectin and fenbendazole are, of course, extremely hot topics. Not a single day goes by where we don't have someone asking us where to get it. We do not sell ivermectin or fenbendazole. We're not, purveyors of those, and I don't know if anyone here could specifically tell you how to get it in Nigeria. That said, regardless of ivermectin and fenbendazole, there are fantastic things that are universally applicable worldwide. So we will open it up to the panel to address that. I think I saw a hand from Lisa and Julia. Oh,
So, I'm hello to Nigeria. I'm assuming you're probably in Lagos or somewhere near there. If you write to us at the AnnieAppleseedProject.org, ANNIE, appleseedproject.org, I can give you a source for purchasing off labels, but that is recommended by Jane McClelland, who's one of the experts. She was the first one to really write the book on off labels and finding pathways to help you, but you can't just embark on it just saying you're going to take drugs. You have to have a pathway based on your diagnosis, your weight, et cetera, et cetera. There's so many factors involved. For maintenance, it's a different story. A lot of people just take ivermectin every other day or twice a week because they want to rid their body of parasites, which everybody has pretty much in the world. But there is a great source, and it's called OncoStore, and they're in India, and I use them myself. And we've referred a lot of patients to this store, and they can ship it to you very reasonably priced. So please write to the AnnieAppleseedProject.org. We have a contact intake form, and we can get you the information. We can also get you a consult with Jane, who can help you to figure out, based on your diagnosis, what it is that would be helpful for you. So you really have to talk to an expert. You can't just put your own protocol together.
Zach, you'll drop that link in the chat.
yeah. Yep. Awesome. Anyone else with comments on that topic? As a reminder, they weren't just asking about the off labels, they were also mentioning invasive ductal carcinoma. They had a lumpectomy with the lymph node removed, and now the tumors are growing back. So was that a hand from Vanessa?
Yes, Vanessa.
Hi, I'm not a health coach. I'm a founder of the OC Tribe with 1,000 women doing protocols like this, and I just wanted to. We get a lot of messages every day about the same things: fenbendazole, ivermectin, menbendazole, and it's not a recipe. It's not like looking up a recipe on the internet. It's a protocol that needs to be followed, and dangerous things can happen if you don't follow a certain protocol. So it's really important to be guided by the right people. And I know when people are really just looking for answers, and it's all over the internet now that these things work, and they certainly do, but they work a certain way. So I just wanted to chime in to say that, because we get a lot of people that just want to know the right places to buy it. Another safe source is Right to Try Inc. And we have a lot of ladies using them. They're in the United States. It's way more expensive, but we've had a lot of positive feedback from them.
Yeah, important point, Vanessa, that it seems to be almost like a new religion where so many people they'll write off everything else in lieu of those two products.
Yeah. Or they'll go too high right away. Like it's a process and it's a protocol, and certain, without certain items, it's not really a good idea unless you really understand what your tumor pathways are, like with Jane McKellen, her How to Starve Cancer book, or if you're looking into things of, like if you just start taking it though, without knowing what to look for or how to read your labs or without any guidance, it's not a good idea.
No, it's not. Totally not. And, we have Dr. Devlin on the phone, and, maybe if he's still with us and not seeing patients, we can, if you send us an intake form, we can have him take a look at your diagnosis, because I think the important thing is certainly off labels is one aspect of maybe a healing platform, but trying to get to the root causes of why this is happening. And I think that you really need a medical professional. It's really hard to do that on your own. So I'm not sure if Dr. Devlin is still with us. I too had infiltrating ductal carcinoma stage 2B 25 years ago. So, but I think a doctor is what you need right now.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. We got Al Sanchez and then Dr. Sean.
Thank you, and hello, everybody. Thank you, Julia, for saying that, because I was going to invite Sean on that one as well. As most of us have known that have been doing this for well over 2 decades, what has come and what has gone, and people latch on to something, and FenBen is, I call it.
Oh, you're breaking up a little, Al.
Yeah, someone just called in on my phone. Sorry about that. So a physician is exactly what's needed. These cases are complicated, just in the little bit of discussions that we've heard this evening shows as an example. And when you've been doing it as long as we have, and you see the broad range, especially in breast cancer, where there's so many different variations of it, you need a guide, you need a coach, you need a medical professional that understands that perspective so they can apply the tools that we have in the toolbox, because we kind of know what works. That's the interesting thing, right? It's just applying that into a specific situation and then doing that with consistency, because what's already come up here is the fear, the lack of understanding, the emotional context of it. That just throws a whole other curveball into these things. So the great thing about this organization and all the people here on the call is that we're trying to help and guide people down that road to keep them from panicking, from pushing that panic button, because once you do that, it's lost. And you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So we try and present the information as best as we can, support them as best as we can, and then go from there. But thank you.
So I think Sean is here.
Yes.
Hands up, and he's actually next. Yep.
Over to Sean.
Okay.
Great. Thank you, guys. Again, thank you, Al. Thank you, Julia. This whole concept of repurposed drugs is a challenging one, because a lot of people are getting it offline and they are not getting medical supervision or direction, and that's a complication. So there's all sorts of side effects that can happen with these drugs individually and as cocktails of medications together, cause all sorts of problems. And if you have underlying comorbidities, that even, puts you into more jeopardy. So my take has always been to evaluate that patient, take a look at their genetics, and see what they might benefit from most. Barring any end organ issues, then things like ivermectin and the anti-helminthics and anti-parasiticals are reasonable. In the mebendazole, albendazole, FenBen discussion, they kind of are ranked by what the data shows, and sort of mebendazole kind of holds the gold medal, and then there's probably albendazole with the silver medal, and then really FenBen comes in last with the bronze. Not that FenBen's bad, it's just that most of those drugs are manufactured for animals and not necessarily made for people, and therefore getting dosing right and dealing with modifying those doses can be a challenge. in many cases, we can compound albendazole or mebendazole exactly to the dose that's tolerated and needed by the patient. That's kind of my perspective on that. But there's dozens of repurposed medications, from metformin to the statins, to low dose naltrexone, to Celebrex, even aspirin. And I think that when you start to look at all these things, you can easily see that it's like those commercials that come on where you're like, this will cure your hives, but in the process, you may have diarrhea, you may have a stroke, you may die suddenly in the night. Um, but really, at the end of the day, all of these drugs have all these little caveats, all these potential side effects or adverse events. So we want to be really mindful of that. And the next thing is these patients' labs have to be monitored on a regular basis because you'll see people dropping GFRs, their kidney function will suffer, elevated liver enzymes, their liver's under pressure. So all that is really important. So having your team together and a tribe of folks following you, including on the clinical side, is critical. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that addition, Sean. Yeah, and that's a great point because a lot of people lose sight of reality in this conversation, right? Somehow, and I have my theories, these drugs have infiltrated into the quote alternative health space, or even the quote holistic health space and the more natural minded circles. And there a lot of people are running to them just end all be all not remembering that they are drugs. Like these are still pharmaceutical drugs, and like any, they can be dangerous and can certainly come with side effects. So yeah, it's certainly important to be mindful of what we're dealing with here. And I'm glad you mentioned, the whole Amazon thing or getting things just randomly offline because even as this person asked that question, the next comment that came in was someone telling them to just go on Amazon and buy it. So
No.
yeah, yeah, do your due diligence in all things, of course, always, please. But over to Coach Janice.
Yeah, so I think Sean had mentioned a few of the topics I was going to discuss. One of them being, if you think about what we're talking about from a holistic standpoint, we got to always go back to our foundation and building the foundation. So if you're building a house on sand, it's not going to be that stable. So if we're just trying to add additional drugs and medications and whether they're obviously effective or not, we still have to really address the foundation first. And so I think that's where the physician comes in. And I participated in, a clinic in Arizona where they did a lot of parasite cleansing and did prescribe mebendazole and ivermectin, combination, but it was under the guise of physician supervision. And to this day, still get every 3 months, or I'm sorry, every 3 weeks, I'm still actually getting lab work just to make sure that the efficacy of what I'm doing is up to par. So definitely shouldn't be just going offline and saying, let's just, take a dose that you're really not clear if it's the right effective dose for you as well, because you might just be wasting money doing that.
Wasting money, or even doing harm. So
Yeah.
thank you very much, Janice. Wow. Well, that brings us to about an hour and a half of call. I have run out of comments on Facebook and in the chat here in terms of topics to be discussed. But, if we're still here, the party's still going. If anyone does have topics they'd like to cover, please do put them in the chat or raise your hand. Of course, that said, anyone that does have to go is welcome at any time. You can come and go as you please, of course. And if you do have to go, we love you. Thank you for being here. And maybe we'll all go, but I'll open it up. Is there any additional comments or questions before we close up here?
I want to say thank you to Zach and Carl, who are amazing, who come to bring a group together every Thursday night. It's really a family, and it is a relaxed, comfortable forum where you feel safe, and we all get to meet one another. So thank you so much, you guys. You're amazing. I just love you too. You're like brothers to me. And this group tonight is super special for me. So lots of friends and lots of colleagues and lots of people who are on the Appleseed team. And we hope that everybody will consider coming to our conference in 2026. And we haven't opened up registration yet, but you'll be part of the family with us. And thank you, Lisa Tarantino, for all that you do too for so many people.
Awesome. Clip that, put it in an advertisement. Over to Carl.
Woohoo!
Thank you, Julia. Thank you, guys.
What do you have to say, Carl?
Just so excited, and thank you so much for being here and being present, Annie Appleseed Tribe, and all the people that came. Just thank you, Sean and Marianne, and we didn't hear anything from him tonight, but Harmonious Monday is on the phone with us. He always has great things. He's dropping some great stuff in the chat, and we have James Smith here with his hand up. So why don't we go to him? You're on mute, sir.
Uh, Hello, everybody. I just wanted to tell Carl thank you again. I talked to you back in May,
Yeah.
and I've since been out of town. Me and my wife took a vacation. I don't think I told you about it. I'm also a caregiver for my 105-year-old dad, and trying to take care of him. And I had somebody that gave us a break for a month, and we went away. But just to find this group, I told Carl the first time I thought I was crazy because I had went to the doctor, and of course they were one person was trying to rush me into surgery, the other one was trying to rush me into radiation. And I told them to pump the brakes, we're not going to do anything right now. I had uh, read a lot about Chris Beats Cancer, and these guys were telling me, these are doctors that were actually telling me there is no research. There is no research saying that, that you can beat cancer through these other holistic approaches and stuff. And of course, I wasn't going to question the doctor, but I knew he was lying. And I just listened to what he was saying. And then coming on and reacquainting myself with you guys and listening to everybody. And tonight, I will make that call, Carl, to talk to the young lady, to the doctor that you told me to call and get on the right track. But I just want to tell you guys that, oh, I am so grateful to find people, who are telling me that I'm not crazy because I got cousins and nieces that are in the medical field, and they're all trying to rush me into this radiation and the surgery, telling me that I need to get something done right now. And it's just a breath of fresh air to have a group of knowledgeable people. It's just not me trying to talk against everybody that's supposed to have the knowledge to do something that I think I need to do. Thank you very, very much.
Very beautifully said,
Thanks for
James.
coming on.
Very beautifully said. And maybe you are crazy, but you're here with
That's okay.
You're here with 30 other people that are all crazy alongside with you. And the way I see it is if the world itself is crazy and they think you're crazy, well then, maybe you're all right. If you're crazy to the crazy world, then maybe you're all right. Very well said. Very beautifully put, my friend. In our closing, go ahead.
I said I would be rather crazy and healthy than crazy not healthy, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Well, in our closing moments here, I just want to remind everyone, thank you very much for being here. This is a community-driven call, and if it wasn't for everyone showing up, participating, asking questions, joining the chat, it would just be me, Carl, and maybe a coach or two showing up and talking to ourselves, and it was like that for a while. So to see this coming together. To see this coming together is so beautiful. It really warms our hearts to see what this has become. We do encourage you to come out anytime that you'd like. We are on every single Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, barring extenuating circumstances or acts of God. We will be here and here to serve you. This isn't open to the public call. Tell your friends. Tell your family, tell your enemies even, I don't care. Let them show up, let them ask their questions, and we'll all have some fun and learn a thing or two of how to be healthier. As a reminder, Annie Appleseed Project and BeatCancer.org are both 501c3 nonprofit organizations. We are here to serve the public. We never, require anything for our help to be, given out to people. But of course, any help that is sent our way is largely and massively appreciated and helps us amplify our impact into the future. So, in these closing moments, I'll just share my screen here. Take a look at our websites, AnnieAppleseedProject.org. There's a whole lot of good stuff to check out here, whether you want to see some information about the previous conference that was held. I do believe the replay is free, which is super cool. Or if you'd like to support the organization or contact the organization, you can do so right here. BeatCancer.org is our website. There are a whole lot of buttons here. Whether you want to become a holistic cancer coach yourself, you've liked what you've heard some coaches say, and you could see yourself serving others in that way. We'd love to help you do that. Whether you'd like to find a coach to work with our naturopathic counselor on staff, or if you'd like to support us, you can do that in the ways to give button right there. Obviously, there's a whole lot of other good stuff. You can subscribe to our newsletter, check out the other stuff that we have going on, but it's support from the public that helps us keep going, helps us keep amplifying our impact. So I'll leave that with your hearts and with your minds. And over to Carl for any closing thoughts.
Yeah, it was great that you brought up that we are 501c3s, and I just want to make a shout out to Harmonious Monday for a screensaver with both Beat Cancer and
How do you like it? I need that to be recognized. It takes, I really don't need it to be recognized, by the way. But it's so fun technologically to make that happen. And I obsess over things like that. And thanks for noticing.
Yeah, we've seen it before where you had it.
Tonight it got screwed up. I tried to make it scroll and I just said, forget it. I'll freeze it. Forget it.
I love it. I love it. Everyone just joins and does their part, helps us, call what it is.
Yeah. And thank you, everybody. What a great turnout and excellent information. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Julie, did you have any closing thoughts? Did you do them already? I don't even remember at this point.
No, I'm just as they say in Italy, grazie tutti familia.
On that note, grazie tutti familia. Proxima semana. We'll see you next week. That's Spanish.